I have decided for the 10-year anniversary of the passing of Heath Ledger to rewatch and in some cases watch for the very first time just some of his best movies. And I am starting with 10 Things I Hate About You. Hey now, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here in tribute to Heath Ledger to review 10 Things I Hate About You. This is a film that came out in 1999, and the plot is we meet Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays Cameron. He's this high school kid, just got to this high school, and he instantly falls for this girl Bianca, one of the popular girls in school, but there's no chance that he could just go up and ask her out. No. He has to design a way to ask her out, especially because her father has this rule where Bianca can't date unless her older sister Kat dates. So he decides to get somebody else to pay Heath Ledger, Patrick, to take out the older sister Kat, so then in that way he could date Bianca. It sounds crazy because it is, and that's what this movie is about. Now, what I think of 10 Things I Hate About You is I really enjoyed this movie. I do, partly because I grew up watching this movie. I saw this when I was a kid. I found it very just fun and charming, and rewatching it now all these years later, I still feel that way. Sure, it's very 90s. It is. It's very 90s. There are a lot of cheesy jokes in there, a lot of even the high school aspects of the movie. I like watching high school movies because I want to see how much I can relate to it. High school seems to be the years that we all reminisce about the most. It's the characters in this movie, the main characters, that I attach to the most. First of all, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Cameron. I buy him as this shy, kind of insecure kid who likes this girl who's a little out of his league. He's desperate. He's desperate to take her out. I like that him and David Krumholtz, who plays Michael, I like that the two of them are coming together, brainstorming and trying to figure this out. Patrick, played by Heath Ledger. And Heath Ledger is so good in this movie because he's the bad boy, and I feel like he's one of the reasons why most girls want to date the bad boys, right? He has this cool demeanor about him. He has this edginess to him, to where he's smoking cigarettes and he's at bars, and he, like when they first go up to him, he drills a hole into Joseph Gordon-Levitt's book. Like, he's a badass. He is. He doesn't really want to be bothered with or dealt with. But when he does get paid, when he does get, initially it was like $20. I kind of thought, all right, even for 1999, you got to up it a little bit. Come on, this guy's going out of his way for you. And he's able to finagle it to go up to 75. And then throughout the movie, he's like, you got to make it 100 a date. Eventually, he gets $300 just to take this girl out. And Heath Ledger, I like that hardened exterior that he presents at the beginning, but when you get to know him more, when he does start to date Julia Stiles and starts to actually really like her, I like the softness of him. I like when he becomes a real person. Let's talk about Julia Stiles. Julia Stiles plays Kat, who is a very prude, uptight type of girl. I will admit that at the beginning. She used to be popular, but she went through this phase, and now she doesn't care anymore. She's a loner. She's weird. She keeps to herself. She has very opinionated opinions about certain subjects in class, and it's funny to see how hard it is to get someone to date her. It is, because it's not like she's not attractive or anything like that, but she has such a weird reputation that people are like, no, cross, get away. And I like that she too starts to soften up when Heath Ledger finally, it's not easy. He has to work hard and hard. I wouldn't have worked that hard. But he finally gets through to her, finally gets her on a date, and actually gets her to like them. And these two have great chemistry. Sometimes you see these romantic comedy movies, and if the two leads aren't gelling, don't have chemistry, the whole thing falls apart. So the fact that these two, I actually buy them falling for each other, I actually buy them getting to the point where they care about each other. I like that. There's a lot of memorable moments with these two. Obviously, Heath Ledger singing the song to her out on the field and getting chased around by the cops is great. The moment where Julia Stiles gets drunk at the party, dancing to Hypnotize, and then ends up throwing up by the end of the night. Or how about the very end of the movie? I know I'm skipping a lot of stuff here, but the very end of the movie when she reads the poem, the 10 Things I Hate About You poem, to the class, but it's directed to Heath Ledger. That's a moment. That's one of those moments that I actually felt it. I felt her pain. I felt her crying. I connected to it. The jock, popular guy that they get to pay Heath Ledger, he is played by Andrew Keegan. This actor is such a douchebag. Look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. Maybe in real life he's a nice, cool guy. But he plays such a convincing, good douchebag, Joey, the character Joey, that he's so easily hateable. In fact, I almost don't want to believe that girls would fall for that, or even Bianca at the beginning is falling for this guy who's so conceited, so into himself, looking at himself in the mirror in his locker. He's so full of himself, and he has such a punchable face. It's so satisfying when he does finally get punched in the face. And some of the other random characters, Gabrielle Union is like the best friend of Bianca, even though she's just rude and stuck up. The father of the two sisters is played by Larry Miller. He has some funny comedic moments as well. And Allison Janney, who I always forget is in this movie until I watch it and I see her as the principal. She has a random side plot of her typing this erotica stories on the computer. It's very weird, but also, does Allison Janney age? I swear she looks the exact same way in this movie as she does now. And very quick, the actress who plays Bianca is Larissa Olenek. And I just want to mention her because when I see her, I always think of her as Alex Mack from The Secret World of Alex Mack. If any of you guys remember that show on Nickelodeon in the 90s. Anyways, obviously, I enjoy this film. I do. I connect to it. Look, is it the greatest high school comedy movie ever? The greatest romantic comedy ever? No, I'm not going to say that. And sure, the plot of him getting paid to take her out and then him falling for her along the way and then her finding out about their arrangement. Yeah, you've seen movies like that before, but that doesn't take away from the charming characters, charming actors, the chemistry, the moments that I enjoy the most. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of 10 Things I Hate About You. Do you like it as much as I do? Do you have nostalgic memories of it? Does it bother you that they cover so many good 80s music by so many like late 90s, early 2000 bands? So random. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Yeah, it's in the building. It's in the building. Yo, okay. Yo, it's butane. I'll never give up. In God we trust. And it's a must that I won't quit.